Hello? Love Gilly. How's everyone doing? I just crushed some cash last night. And 12th in a tournament. Kings into Jacks happens. I'm running this sim for this hand. Talk about like faulty education. Gosh. Just listen to this stuff, man. Can we increase the volume here? Okay, I'll have to turn my mic off. Maybe I'll have to like turn it back on and off. Okay, so this is basically in position. This is calling range, and to say that like he's 4-betting queens all the time and kings all the time. Nah, not all the time, man. Not all people do it all the time. And this is not exact GTO. It's built from hand to range for over 1 million hands. Over 8 million hands, sorry. 1 million is his blind. So that's just his range. This is out of position 3-betting range. Seems fine. And yeah, you need to do this a little bit too. Although like you can like trim off all of this stuff. But it helps later on in the streets. This stuff really helps. See, he talks a lot about like balance. So let this happen. You can see this happening right now. And let's just play this.
Alright, so I think this hand is done. I think we're done with the questions. Let's move on to the next hand. Alright, Raisy Daisy raises. Very clear 3-bet. I think the size is a little small. We can go a little bit bigger, but not a big deal.
Yeah, 11. Awesome flop.
Get the call. King Queen Jack flop. It's a flop जहाँ पे अगेन अपने को ये सोचना है बोर्ड किसकी कैसे इंटरेक्ट कर रहा है किसकी रेंजेस से. आई थिंक स्मॉल ब्लाइंड के पास सारे सेट्स हैं. कट ऑफ के पास मे बी जैक्स हैं बट किंग्स और क्वींस कभी नहीं है. अपने पास सारे 10-9 सूटेड एस 10 हैं. रेजी डेजी के पास भी सारे 10-9 सूटेड एस 10 है. बट एस 10 ऑफ सूट स्मॉल ब्लाइंड की रेंज में बहुत कम है कंपेयर टू द कट ऑफ. कट ऑफ कैन हैव ऑल द एस 10 ऑफ सूट given our 3-bet size, but we might not be 3-betting them always. So I think we do have a set advantage, but this guy has the nut advantage that we're having all the offsuit ace 10 combinations. He has 12 ace 10 offsuit के combinations होते हैं तो वो उसकी range में है.
Whoa, hold up. This is wrong. This is so wrong. This is hilariously wrong. Yeah, we just couldn't work all the time. Hold up, yo. That was some. I've never heard that stuff before in my life. Jesus. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? What was the last thing he said? Something about. Oh, we can just. We'll do it. 1 second. Okay, what the fuck was that? Oh, something was sets and straights? How can he say that without any kind of action happening? Wait, hold up. What did he say?
अपनी range में शायद नहीं है.
क्या?
So that is an advantage he has. So इससे वो.
Wait, what? Hold up. What?
Advantage is that we're having all the offsuit ace 10 combinations. He has 12 ace 10 offsuit के combinations होते हैं तो वो.
Oh yeah. This is where it's getting all messed up. First of all, it's not necessary that he has no sets other than jacks, and even if he only has jacks, remember that like we can only have 9 combos of sets on ace. What is it? King, queen, jack, right? Triple Broadway, two-tone. Mate, I'm not even gonna look at anything. If that's about like anything above the, even that's 40 big blind. This is a out of position 3-bet. Out of position 3-bet. First of all, his range is so strong. This is the board he's looking for, so that he can bet range, and I'm guessing it would be small. So bet small. But like I'm sure like the EV is not gonna be different. But how are you gonna like The thing is that little EV difference probably will be like 0.01 or something. It'll be across all combos, so you can bet with range and bet small. There are situations where you bet with range and bet big, but I mean they're sort of polarized, sort of mixed. And here I think the mixing will be maybe 30% checking. Certainly checking is not the optimal answer. You've just 3-bet and you just see a king and a queen and a jack on the board. And remember, you know your range. I just saw ace of hearts. And what was it? Queen of spades, right? Yeah, because there was a club here. There was a heart here. There was a heart. Yeah. Queen of spades. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So first of all, when it comes to ace 10, like ace 10 offsuit, first of all, just by us having an ace of hearts, we block 25% of ace 10 offsuit. That's 3 combos. So that he has 9 combos of ace 10 offsuit, and ace 10 suited also is blocked 25%, and he has what, 1 out of 4. So again 25%, 3 combos. And the asymmetry is around usually around the surviving combo, because they're not even. So there will be one with one extra suit, one different suit will be the heart, if we have an offsuit hand, at least. Even with a suited hand, like the other, if you're looking at like some other combo, say like ace 10, so then the 10 will have the extra heart. Like, so like we will unblock more hearts when we have a heart in our hand, but you know, we have ace queen, but here it's offsuit, ace of heart, queen of spade. The out of the blocking that we do of ace 10, the unblocked ace, the asymmetry again around that will be, you know, another combo of ace of hearts. It's something that you should note, so that when you have a queen of spades and not an ace, like you have a range, you should know that if you're trying to attempt to like block something, you should know like what where's the asymmetry against, around what is blocked and what is unblocked. Usually what the suit that you have has one extra combo from the blocking portion, which is 25%. Like king 7, suited or offsuit, blocks the same amount of ace king. The surviving ace though, the one extra ace in each side, is the one that you also have. This is working out, but just see bet small. Like I don't know why is he collapsing his range to like nuts. Like, you have to think about bluffing, man. Like, your entire range, that 3 bets here, should bet small. Like, I'd bet here with like 3-5 offsuit. Obviously, size it smaller, because out of position bets sizing, when you're bluffing at least, should be dependent on the combos. You know, what do you block? Your equity. So obviously with nothing, you can still bet. But again, like, don't go ape shit. Do not check though. Not on this board. Think about this as well. Like, not only is that board, the ace of hearts is so powerful here. Look at its power, man. Ace of hearts has the power here. There's a king of hearts on the board. There's also a queen of clubs and a jack of hearts. Now, unfortunately, when you have ace of hearts, queen of spades, it would be better if we had ace of hearts, 5 of spades, or even 5 of hearts, whatever. It's because right now, first of all, let's think about, like, in top pair, what are we blocking? We're very hard blocking ace queen, any queen combo, king queen, jack queen. Some portion of that is like blocked. We have a heart, so just intrinsically think about it. Ace king of heart is just blocked. Ace jack of heart is blocked. Ace of hearts, queen of hearts is blocked, because we have the ace of hearts, right? So on this board, like, all hearts are blocked. So, and there's a jack of hearts and a king of hearts. So in terms of him having a queen, first of all, so let's say he has a queen, he will not have any suited queen that has a backdoor, or actually a flush draw. He can't have queen of heart, jack of heart. Same thing with king or ace, or queens. Like with us blocking one more, so like it's although according to him, he will 4-bet jam that all the time. Cool. That's not true. This queen is kind of hurting us because think about the hands he can have in terms of offsuit. Because if he can have ace 10 suited or offsuit, it's less likely because we have there are two aces here and there are two queens here. So like queen 10 suited is also kind of hard for him to have. However, so is king 10 suited and jack 10 suited. So these are equally unlikely or equally as likely, with this being a little less likely, making all of his 10x combos very unlikely. So what does he have here? A lot of times he should have a pair here, or 9-10 is the only sort of 10x that we block, but we block also, say if he has 9 of hearts, 10 of hearts, we kind of block his outs to a hard draw, right? There's 1, 2, 3 hearts out already, and he has 2 of them, so there's only 8 left. There's only 2 more than a flip, so let's clear that up. And like I said, like ace 10 offsuit, yes, it does have 12 combos, but literally that's why we need to look at our range, our distribution of hands, see where our hand is within our distribution of hands and how it's stacking up against the board, because that is all information that we actually possess. So in this case, we know quite a lot of things. We know our range. We know we have ace of hearts, queen of spades, ace of hearts being really powerful here with backdoor stuff. We know we block queens. We know we like the board blocks jack king. All heart combos are sort of blocked, the higher ones. You can have lower ones, and should not be checking this board, because this is a board if we check on, how are we gonna barrel? Like there can be cards that are good for us, which kind of mean they kind of are asymmetric good, as in they shift equity, right? So one of those cards would be it could be a jack of spades, because he can't have queen jack of spades either. So jack would be a queen would be actually very good, like especially the spade or the diamond. What will not really be that good would be a king of diamonds, because the card that we unblock him the most from is say king of clubs, 10 of clubs, right? Because in terms of queens, we kind of block him from 2 combos of queen 10 suited, and then queen of diamonds, it's hard for him to block. With kings, we still have king of clubs, 10 of clubs, and even with the jack of clubs, 10 of clubs, and a jack of spades, 10 of spades, and king of spades, 10 of spades, king of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, 10 of diamonds. In fact, like ace 10, 2 combos, he can only have ace 10 of club, right? And he can have ace 10 spade. Can't have this is club, spade. Can't have heart. he can have diamond, ace hand of diamond. But if it's he has to realize that this is much more vulnerable. I mean, so is this, and we'll see that probably. I think I'll be able to figure out what our line will be, but let's see what this guy says.
उसकी रेंज में है, अपनी रेंज में शायद नहीं है, तो that is an advantage he has. So इससे हो क्या रहा है?
Man, this is why we need to practice what is in our range, right? So we have to think about this. What's our range and how does this stack with the board? Then think about what could be in his range or not. Not start with what is in his range. What nut advantage? What? Wow, that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Nut advantage. I know what he's talking about. He's gotten some coaching. He's misapplying that spot. C-bet, fucking C-bet. Yes, there will be some checking. Yes, the EV per combo will be low for each combo, but your entire range will be betting.
इसकी वजह से this is a flop where we can't be picking very small sizes. So
what? We have to pick small sizes, especially when we have a range advantage. Oh man. Does he know there's only 4 combos of 9-10? And then we block the ace. We block ace 10. Like, there's not that many. I bet we have the same number of, or about the same, or similar sets, straights as the other dude, and close to the same amount of what do you call them? Sets, yeah. So straights I think are same, and sets, yeah, of course, we can have all 9. He will have probably like 4. You know, like sometimes he will call with queens and jacks, sometimes he will 4-bet. Kings he will always 4-bet. Almost always, but never 0.
This is a flop where we want to be picking medium size. Medium size is cute.
Okay, I'm gonna laugh. That's not gonna be right. That's not even like in the answers. This is a cutoff versus small blind, no anti spot. How is he saying medium size bet? Okay. There's cards to come, there's ranges can change, there's asymmetry, there's cards that shift equity. So we just bet, man. Why are you complicating it? And let's talk about some bluffs. Like, what are you supposed to do here with the ace 8, 8-10 suited? Say like, well, we'll see what the turn is.
Right? So on this board, we want to be picking half pot sizes a lot instead of 1/3 or 1/4 sizes.
No, 1/4, please. Pick. This I'm 100% sure. Man, come on, this is such a simple ratio. Like a hand that shows up. So pick small sizing, like 20 to 25%. Why? Because first of all, everyone needs to start 3-betting their small blind and big blind more. And hey, say if this guy loses this hand because there's a top pair there, he's supposed to lose this hand with ace. What? No, don't call people. Siri. He's supposed to lose this hand with, like, say, you know, miss flush draw with 8-7, jack 9. If there's a club on the turn, jack 9 of clubs. Like, we're supposed to be beaten on the river by a distribution of hands, and he's just like, he's seen the result, I think, already.
And अगर half pot size मारनी है, I don't think ace 2 fits into the half pot betting range, so this will.
It doesn't. That's right. First thing he said, right?
Check.
What? No. It's not a check. It's not a check.
I like to check. This is very good. Nikhil says pronounce 3 seconds. Welcome, Nikhil.
It's not a check.
So I think this becomes a check. इसमें किसी को कोई doubt है तो please let me know.
Me.
Very
It's not a
easy
check.
and
Not a very easy check.
flop
I mean,
check, which is great. Now he shouldn't have many two pairs in his range. He can still have flush draws. Shouldn't really have any.
he's right. He should actually the first thing I would eliminate from this guy's range is now two pairs. I think people protect those, and I don't know why he said it after the queen came. Is he saying is he insinuating counterfeiting? Because I think as soon as he doesn't bet, even if there was a 3, I would still say this guy doesn't have any two pairs, or his two pairs are pretty less, because two pairs just bet especially when the 3 better hasn't c bet, which he should have. This is good enough.
Ace 10 अपन block कर रहे हैं. Ace 10 कभी-कभी check back भी कर सकता है, but बहुत ज़्यादा relevant नहीं है. Great turn for us now. अब अपने पास nut
Ace 10 is either raising or calling a bet. Check back, never. Come on, it's a 3-bet pot, man. There's 21 big blinds in there. He's got a fifth of his stack is in there.
Contest भी हो गया. Now we have all the full houses. He just has none of them because queen jack king queen उसके range में है ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो flop
yeah, that's true.
So now it becomes a board where अब अपने पास सारे straights हैं, अपने पास सारे full houses हैं,
no,
उसके पास कोई भी full house.
That might be true, but the straights haven't changed. Sorry.
And उसके
think about it. The same card came again. How would nothing has? It's so static. Nothing has changed. How? What is he saying?
10-9 भी नहीं है, right? So now this becomes a board.
What? Why doesn't he have 10-9?
On this turn, after the flop goes check, equity shifts massively in the favor.
Stop. This guy is bullshitting. He's a fraud. He's what we call in poker a fraud. Look, that's not saying that he's actually a fraud, but someone who thinks he knows something he doesn't. Equity. I mentioned this, right? If a queen or a jack came, equity with that queen of diamonds definitely will shift if there is, and it shifts because there's an asymmetrical advantage to be gained. Asymmetrical, wow, botch that spelling. Asymmetrical ass advantage. Why? Because think about it. Say there was a 9 instead of jack. If we had jack 10 with a jack of hearts, jack 10 of hearts, and there was a 9 here. Now we've got that actually has a, sorry. So let's say there was no king, there was an ace here, say. This was an ace. So the board was jack, ace of hearts, queen of clubs, king of hearts, queen of hearts. Okay, and we had jack of hearts, 10 of anything, or jack of anything, 10 of hearts. Given that we block jacks and we have one of the jacks, basically this would be a great spot to, we would say it's a shift in our favor, because we can bluff. We have about 90 combos of straights, the trips with that board, this one with jack 10, and we have 45 to 50 combos of flush draw to fill those in. This would be a great hand with the heart though, right? But right now no equity has shifted. I can show you that. I'm pretty sure equity only shifts. So what is the meaning of equity shifting? Say I opened with ace jack offsuit and the board was ace queen 9 and I check and the in position flatter calls, bets, and I call. Out of position OR calls. So OR check calls, and there's a queen on the board turn. Now who has more who check calls more often with a queen? Well, out of position. because people generally tend to just overbet anyways with top pair. So that would be an asymmetry, but the shift in equity that implies comes from betting. Like this is just static. This is if I just went check and looked at the EV for out of position, in position, they would just be static. I think out of position would have lower because he is wider and less, has a wider range. So obviously he's not as strong. Simply put it, other than say luck, he has a range that's weaker than our range. So the asymmetry though is coming from. So say like you had 8, 10 with a 9, if you didn't of spades or of hearts say, and the queen came, if you did not, you had 8, 10 of hearts. If you did not see bet small on the flop, how the heck is that queen ever going to shift equity in your favor? It's not gonna favor you. Your range is going to be perceived differently. This is just a static hand so far. He said like nothing right, except for he's used words where he probably has learned them whenever he did this, which is probably like November or something.
Small line. ये fundamental सबको समझ में आ रहा है कि अब क्या हो रहा है?
This fundamental is wrong. This turn brings in asymmetry, but not a shift in equity, not as the way the lines went. Because you have to think about it, it has to be some kind of dynamism in betting, calling, for there to be a card that brings in some kind of equity shift. Yes, sometimes checking does, but it's very particular, not on this 3-bet board with triple Broadway. He doesn't even classify it's a 2-tone triple Broadway board, which is important to know.
कट ऑफ के पास अब कोई भी फुल हाउस, कोई भी स्ट्रेट बचा ही नहीं है.
Straight he has, we do too. Full house is basically blocker reason. He can still have 9-10 stuff we don't block. I think he's just seen the hand. I think he knows what the hand is.
Ace-10 थोड़ी frequency से हो सकता है, but
the amount of times he's mentioned ace-10, I think the guy has ace-10.
नहीं है.
Because I only looked at the flop even when I was watching this and recording it, and went away because I saw this bullshit spewing out of his mouth.
Ace-10 offsuit शायद नहीं है, and full houses नहीं है, but अपने पास सब हो सकता है.
Ace-10 offsuit should not even be in his pre-flop range.
कर लिया और top set. There's a likely possibility that we check queen jack or king queen on the flop to pot control or maybe.
No, we don't. Do we? Is he talking about that guy or us? Why would you ever pot control with 2 pair after 3-betting? Oh my god, on ace queen jack? Dude, like how are you gonna ever play poker with anything than always flopping something?
Maybe induce some bluffs, but he is never checking back, right? So on this turn, now that we have all the nuts, he has very few of them. This becomes a spot where we should be picking smaller sizes. So I prefer going something like 40%.
You should have said 40% is not small. Please bring it down. Also, you should have said that on the smaller sizing on the flop.
40%.
He's basically made whoever has learned this made them miss 1 street of value.
50% with the entire, maybe 40 to 60 with the entire range. I think that should be fine.
No.
Oh, even smaller as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this bet. Yeah, bet mistake.
Yeah, it's kind of bad, but you have to think also. It is bad, but you have to also think about like the ranges that are being targeted now are gonna have like 2 or 3 combos left, man. So yeah, it is a bad bet though. I do agree. Here it should be, well, it should be 8 or 9, whatever, or 10 maybe even, if he had bet flop. Otherwise, I think it is a decent bet. Not like that. I wouldn't bet like pot. I would bet either over pot or I'd bet. Well, not even that would be too exploitative. I'd probably bet like close to, because the flush draw, the 4th suit came out, right? So the flush draws kind of are breaking. We already blocked them. He's pair heavy, but we also have those pairs, like the trips, right? So we beat all the trips at least. King queen is blocked. King jack is blocked. Which we beat, and then jack queen is the one. Oh, king queen is beating us, but again it's blocked. Jack queen is blocked. Should talk a little bit about blockers, man. Everyone knows like there's 12 offsuit combos and 4 suited combos of a non-paired hand.
The mental mistake. अब इसमें
There's also nines in your range, 9 of heart, 9 of club.
इसमें क्या करते हैं जब 19 के अपन bet कर रहे हैं तो हमने भाई बता ही दिया कि देखो हमारे पास queen x है.
No, that's not it. It's just that we didn't bet the flop, and I think we should size up, but not this much. But it's not that bad. But it sucks to have taken this line. However, this guy already messed up by saying that flop was the perfect check. What the?
But when you bet something like 8, you can actually bluff a hand like 8-9 suited.
Yeah, if you would go to street, and then you can also use this fact of the asymmetry that queens brings around your range and this shift in equity.
When you bet 19, you cannot bluff that because अभी क्या है?
You can do anything you want, by the way. That's not an issue.
5 या
Like the thing is, this queen of the suit is really awesome, but the card itself isn't really that good. Like if it was a 3 of diamonds, you could actually possibly do this.
8 bet करके we can bet 5 on the turn and just jam rivers with 8-9. But when you bet 90 in any calls, you can't jam 8-9 on the river or a 9 blocker on the river.
Wait. You will be jamming on the river, but I am 100% sure it's going to be like any sizing will be fine. You could jam, but let's see what happens. But you could, if he just calls, you'll have overpot, right? So you'll bet overpot. This guy needs to fold 60% of his. Well, he will have about 40% MDF, so that means he folds 60% of his range. 60% of his range is a fold, and 40% is a call if you jam. But the thing is, what he's missing out is if you bet geometrically across the streets, you will bet. Sometimes you will check the turn, but especially with this combo with the spades, this combo should check the turn. But you can go bet, check, bet, and if he 2 bets, I mean, I think ace with a heart and a queen, trip queens, the queen of spades, it's probably like over 70% call. And particularly with this combo. So yes, it sucks that, like, let's see how the line goes.
On an ace blocker on the river. Why? Because you have made his range getting to the river so strong. So
okay, wait, hold up. Ace blocker, yeah, like the one thing he didn't mention, this guy doesn't have any 2 pair, is absolutely right, and it's something that some people might not understand. He also forget to mention this guy cannot have any overpairs, right? Think about what overpairs he can have here. Well, ace is the only overpair, right? We have an ace. There are 6 aces. Like an overpair is going to be very unlikely, especially the way the hand was played. The fact that he didn't 4-bet, which is the one hand I could assume would be a pure 4-bet.
Is this is a fine bet with our exact hand. कि अपने पास tips हैं, हमें क्या देखो nuts के साथ खेलना है.
On the turn it's not. It's actually small bet, and our combo actually should be checking here.
अच्छा easy है, nuts है बड़ी bet करो. But the point is that it is very hard to balance this bet size with a bluff.
It is, but only if you don't bet flop.
And
go for it.
Again on the river, I think picking a small size should be the play.
Picking a small size means he's seen the river. He's seen the river. You win, right? So he's saying picking a small sizing because probably King Jack is gonna call you with the missed draw. So yeah, so he's seen the cards, but you can pick a small sizing. You can pick like say 30%. You can pick 60. You can pick jam or whatever is left over bet, and then he would have this. He will mostly just have to only have 40% calls if he's calling optimally, unless it's a cooler, and he will fold like 60+%. That's what I think at least.
बड़ी size के लिए उसके पास calls होंगी नहीं, तो value अपने को मिले.
No, you will get value. If he folds a king 10 here, look at what's in the pot. Why would you fold king 10? The only thing you're missing out with overjamming is that you can bet small and he has some bluffs that he can jam and then you can call. I don't think this hand's folding. Not with these suits. Not the run out. You have the best trips and there's very few combos of king queen and jack queen. Just think about it. There are 12 combos of each, right? So because it's going to be the same for each, right? Whoops. And you have to think about like how attributing one combo like affects like what the other combo can do if you really want to collapse someone's range. But let's say there's 12 combos of jack queen. It's pretty easy to write. You can just write jack of hearts, jack of hearts, jack of hearts, jack of hearts, jack of, yeah. Queen of clubs, queen of spades, queen of diamonds, queen of what? Queen of clubs, queen of spades, queen of diamonds, queen of hearts, right? Well, that becomes like you know what it becomes, right? So now you can have also jack of clubs, queen of hearts. You can have jack of spades, queen of hearts. You can have jack of diamonds, queen of hearts. Should this be diamond? Yeah. No, wait. Heart. No, this is just hearts. And then you can have jack of spade, club, diamond. We've already counted that one, so it's fine. And then you have jack of spades and jack of diamonds, and you can have queen of hearts, jack of spades, queen of spades, jack of spades. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? It should have all been. This should have all been clubs, man. And then we would have been able to do this. Jack of clubs, queen of clubs. And now jack of spade, spade, spade. Queen of heart, spade, club, queen, queen, club. And this is the suited version. Then diamond, jack of diamond, jack of diamond. This is you just need to do this once. Queen of hearts, queen of spades, queen of clubs, queen of diamonds. So now you can see these are 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because we've gotten one more suit, which is spade, this club. I didn't count these, sorry, 16, right? So this is all. So now let's see, in terms of having queen jack, what can he not have? Well, he can't have queen jack of hearts. He can't have queen of spades, jack of hearts. Cannot have queen of clubs. The queen is actually hurting us really. Jack of hearts. So this is the suited one. This is and then spade, heart, club, the queen of diamond, jack of hearts. Impossible, right? And then what else is impossible? Yeah, that's it. So the spade that we have, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? But also he can't have queen of spades, jack of spades. Because we have the queen. That's why it's hurting us. So out of these 16 combos, we can have queen of diamonds, jack of diamonds. So I mean he can't have these 5 combos, right? So in fact out of the 16, 1/3 are almost gone. and same is true with king jack, king queen. Also, like it's gonna be even less combos. So you can think like in terms of his entire range, even if I fucked up the math here, it's going to be pretty low. But you can always just draw things out and just look at that. It just takes a little bit of time. If I did this fast enough, I'm sure it'll be better. But anyways, what does he say? So bet small, call a jam, or jam. Although I prefer the first one because more bluffs call you.
Okay, so 60
More bluffs to bet.
I think 25 should be fine.
He's seen
this
the.
is ये अपन ने अपना hand
You've won it, right? He's seen the hand.
आपने बहुत ज़्यादा push किया कि उसकी range से call है. जब तुम्हारे पास ace queen है,
Oh, he
तो तुम्हें
folds.
king queen jack बोल तो उसे क्या call चाहिए? क्या hand call करेगा? Queen jack से अपन हार रहे हैं, king queen से हार रहे हैं. 10-9 उसके पास होना नहीं चाहिए.
He has one
जब वो
bluff.
यहाँ पे call देगा, you are basically hoping he calls a hand like king 10. या पहली बात है यहाँ call मिलेगी नहीं, but जब मिलेगी तो you will run into ace 10 a lot, or you will run.
King 10 is a pure, like he's gonna call king 10 here a lot. Look, think about how the board went out, like it bricked out, right? For the flush, for the straight. So if he's got a 10 in his hand, doesn't matter whether it's king 10, jack 10, queen 10 is rather not that possible. You block the Broadway cards anyway. You have the ace of hearts, which is really powerful. So yes, he can have some kind of pair. So all top pairs he's gonna call with. The only thing you've messed up here is he's not only calling nuts. He's not good enough here. Just be like calling nuts versus overjam, or like bad enough actually, because he's supposed to be calling any king, any top pair is a call here.
And into a weirdly played queen jack, or
yeah, that would be weirdly played, but he can't have queen jack, man. Like think about, there's 3 queens already like out there. One jack out there.
Maybe a fish just calls you with king 10. I don't know.
Okay,
this guy
so that's what happened.
So king 10 ये easily fold कर सकता है. तो
looks like ace 10 though.
ये मेरे को उम्मीद नहीं थी यहाँ पे call आने की, but मिल गई है. And he has the nuts. Ace 10 is fine. Ace 10 again is the hand जो हमने सोचा था कि इसकी flop calling range में हो सकता है. So
of course, because it's suited.
I think actually अच्छा check back है flop पे with the backdoor flush draw. He played very tricky. He played very good.
No.
Versus Regs is something I
No.
advocate a lot. I think he played his hand perfectly.
No, you idiot.
Bit of a cool.
You fucking moron. This is how you play this hand. What did I tell you? Don't check. Now let's see what the... Yeah, I mean it's collapsing to betting small. Not Corona. So it is somewhat mixed because yes, there is, part of your range that is checking, which is over your entire 140 or something combos, 38% is checking. But you can see that the answer for almost all except for 9s, especially one which has doesn't have a heart, so no backdoors in it. They're checking. They want to kind of get to showdown. They don't want to play like Serendipity does. Turns them into a bluff. So you can see that this is fine. Most of your answers are in small betting. So you can see like 73% with your combo here. It's 62. So overall here, because you're not gonna know, for every 60, like it's basically for every 2 times you bet, 1 time you check, and that's basically kind of like your entire strategy, if you think about it. And if you look at these sizings, if you just remove them or like optimize it, it'll just fall into this. So it'll just lessen this, or maybe some of it will go into check, but only the smaller part goes. So this will all kind of like collapse into maybe this, but in the end it's just going to be a bet, right? 4 or 7, it's not that much of a difference. But anyways, 7 is not that good of a bet. So you 3-bet. You have to maintain a stack to pot ratios, especially when you're bluffing. Like I said, if you have like 8-7 suited, you kind of wanna. You still are betting somewhat. It's not, So this is one combo that all your checks are coming from, because you wanna play this probably as a check raise or like just play it passively. But ace 8, for example. Why is ace 8 a pure bet almost? No, this is what he should talk about. Suits. He's not even at one point mentioned suits. He just meant suited or not suited. This or not that. He's not mentioned suit, which is a big part of card removal. This reason why you don't have that many king 9. This is out of position, by the way. Sorry, but still, but why is ace 8 betting almost, and ace 5? not that much, but ace 8 is way more. Not ace 9. Why is ace 8? Because ace 8 is something where he's gonna have a hard because we block flush too. So when we have ace 8 of spades, diamonds, or clubs, we kind of want to bet, because any kind of heart interacts with this board, and as well as any kind of like 8-9 sort of combo of any suit interacts. So this will kind of give us some protection as well, because we block a combo to, say, if he has 8-9, so like 9-10, sorry, well, 9-10 got there, but say he's like drawing to, say, a jack high, or like some kind of like queen high flush draw. Well, then there would be king high too. But then you come to this thing about like, does he have 10-9? The thing is, you can also make a straight with the 6 and a 7, right? So having an a8 here, which kind of interacts with this board, is good. Plus you do it with all four combos equally, and obviously you bet every king that you can have, and you bet every ace, which is just a value bet basically. Ace queen is a bet though. It's basically about the same as ace king, and our combo is betting, well, queen of hearts right now is betting more, but I'm sure that will change. In fact, when he talked about the analysis thing, this is how wrong he was. Look at out of position. Look at the number of combos of sets we have, 9. But look at the weight it has on our range. 7.8% of our range is set. Which is right? We can have 3 combos of each of the 3 cards, so that's 9 combos of sets. Straights we can have 6.4 combos of. Right? What does in position have? So see these numbers, 5.6, 7.8. Almost the same number of combos of straights, but less percentage of his range. So in fact, he's wrong when he says he has more straights, because we have more straights because it represents a higher percentage of our range. And when it comes to set, okay, yes, he's got 4 points. I said 4 combos, but he's got 4.7. We've got 9. True, because he can't always have kings and queens, right? Or jacks even. So that's so it's basically taking half away from all of them. And when you talk about like equity, we already have a big equity. We already have a range advantage. We don't need a queen on the turn to give us any range advantage. Out of position, we have 2 pair a lot here. So no action has happened. So that's what I'm saying. So you cannot say that like, he has more sets or you have more straights. No, he said you have more sets, he has more straights. It's about the weight of each of those combos in your range. So this is what your range is, right? And you can see how much of it is kind of plus EV and what is the kind of the shit part of it. And you can see his range, and you can see his range is kind of like polarized here. So he's gonna call with like some suited connectors, and he's gonna have some, the jack and jack X and top pair and stuff like that. So look at here, like he can have like low pair, that means jack X. He can have a lot of top pair, which is 11% of his range. For us, top pair is 16 combos, but it's only 14% of our range. In fact, the highest percentage in our range right now is a gutty, which also makes sense if we have an ace, right? Which we have a lot of times when we 3-bet. Seems rather pedantic. We can have a low pair. We can have like jack, right? We can even have 9s here. 9th 3-bet, and we can have second and top pair. Second pair right now he can have, right? But the distribution isn't that much. In fact, he has more of like jack X here, because that's also the one combo that's not that blocked. And also you can see that like 8 to a straight draw or a gutty represents 13 and 34, and for us represents more again. So not only do we have almost the equal amount of straight draws, we have more gutter balls and open-enders in general. Now these are not to be matched together. This is a separate range that's just showing you different subsets of, it's like just clubbing them more togetherness, kind of. So you not only do we have straights when it comes to not made hands, we have more draws as well. Also combo draws and flush draws, which are 4.9 and 3.8%, 4.1 and 2%. So it's not that bad. Yes, of course he's gonna have more suited cards when he does flop, but say you can say that from the 0 to almost the top of our range, we beat his equity. And say we check, which he says we should, which we shouldn't, and he checks back, and which he shouldn't. And like I said, like most people will like, you know, two pair will be like this is not supposed to be in his range. First of all, most people will try to bet this, and it's betting pretty okay. The reason it's not is because it's unblocks flushes, so you can bet, you can check whatever. Queens is also indifferent because you're just soaking up the board, because every or two of your queens is gonna have a heart because one of them doesn't. On the board it doesn't, and kings that are a bet, or yeah, they're pretty much a bet. Just for in position, but he checks, although he's supposed to be betting, but primarily checking. Ace 10 is a bet, 100%. So I don't know why he checked. He's just seen someone 3-bet and not c-bet. You should just lang a bet out there, man, and a big one too, like 50%. You can go like even higher. And what was it? So he said this was giving us a shift in equity. So we bet our combo the most, but when it talks about, and obviously he has to check too, for us to not look at, and look at how self-consistent poker is. So if we don't bet here, which we don't have to, but our combo specifically, and it's hard to know, but it's logical, right? We kind of should be now targeting something, and this is why we were able to bluff with 7s, for example, or 8s or 6s. Why are 7s and 8s more than 7s and 6s more than 8s? Because he can still have an 8, 9 in his range, 6, 7, and he's gonna let go of any kind of 6, 7. Also 6, 7 is not in his range. 6, 7 suited and Ace 6 is not that much in his range anyways. So you can barrel these when you block them from him from not having. You kind of push him towards more like, then you can actually exercise your shift in equity. But as a check, and with the queen, what happened? No, wait, hold up. Okay. So nothing changes with the queen. I mean, there's not that much difference between a 3 of diamonds and a queen of diamonds, or a jack of diamonds, which I also said would be, or even like a king of diamonds. It's not that good. I mean, 10 of diamonds is almost as good as queen of diamonds. This is so static. If you look at in position equity here, with the queen coming and you checking, it's too static. Nothing's happened. Where's the shift? Shift comes if you actually do this. You range bet. He's indifferent to calling or betting, right? So say he raises, which any human would, but like his strategy is supposed to be, and like I said, like our EV here is not going to be much for checking or betting. So like if you check or bet small, checking like is perfect. What the fuck, man? It's not that much, right? But if you add up all of them, this is how you draw your bluffs, man. This is why, like, if he has queen 8 suited, he should fold after the first bet if you barrel again, because queen 8 blocks you from having 8x, which is where you draw your bluffing range from. Be thorough, man. So yes, it's not much, but you can see that overall it's going to add up so much. If you just add up your entire frequencies across the range, you can see that betting is coming out to be 63% because of all of these additions, because of all these frequencies. So if you bet 4 and say he raises because he's got that ace 10, and you're supposed to call, I think. Yeah, and you can see that some of your ace queen is starting to fold now, because it should, but he just raised. Oh wait, what? Yeah, he raised to 16, and you don't have much raising here, like, but you can still raise 20%. But mostly it's a call. It's a pretty huge call. Although all the other ace queen is folding, so it's also something that's very underappreciated. Like, people call with middle pair too often if they have a good kicker. Like on a stone bubble, this would be a snap fall. So anyways, you call. Now we can actually bring in the queen. And yeah, you can see that. Oh, and also said that our combo will be the one that doesn't bet. See? I don't know. Go back, check it. Oh, well, there's more things to come that I said. So our strategy is both. We can do anything. But mainly we're betting 16, which he was right. We're not betting nothing is betting. But look at the combos are reducing. There's like 15, 3, and 19. Nothing is betting jamming. Like, nothing is jamming, but now we can actually look at so now you can see the queen of diamonds brought in a shit ton of a shift in your equity. So did so would a king of diamonds. So would, like, you can see there's been a shift, and like 9 is a bad card for you because you don't block a 10x, right? The stuff he was talking about. But you can see there's some kind of like dynamism that has happened here. In position equity has kind of like has only improved here, but there's some change going on across, and some of these have gone bad. So things that have gone good for you are bad for him now. So now you can say that, yep, it's, and if you look at your EV, obviously since you haven't made your decision, or it looks kind of bad, but you can see that like the queen is good for you, king is better. He never even talked about that, but those same things are bad for him, and lower cards are good for in position here. It also makes sense. And lower hearts are the best, and also an ace, obviously, because we do not, it's not only about ace 10, which we block kind of, and king 10 and that 10 and that. It's just the fact that like an ace is a really good card for you to have, because it eliminates you from having ace 10. And strategy wise for you, so this is strategy for out of position. Root bad checks, out of position, yeah. So you're checking, and you can see that like with the queen coming, your bets do go up. With the king coming, they would have gone even up further. So all that stuff he was saying was just bullshit. Now if you actually look at something like you bet, he raised, you called, and let's say a 3 diamonds game. Now you check. No, that's always good for in position. And if you actually look at it here, oh sorry, we're looking at, again, I should check it here. The 3 here and in position. Huh. Interesting. What cards are? Anyways, but forget about that. Let's go back and let's just continue this. So yeah, so here the only combo that doesn't bet, and I said it wouldn't on the queen, is actually the combo we have. So but you can see our strategy is 50-50, and since you'd never know exactly, so that's why you need to know your ranges, so you know what you can check. Because you can always look at them, learn them, not learn them, memorize them. Never memorize anything that you can always look up after game. you now know like even aces is a kind of mixed strategy here. So a shift in equity, asymmetrical shift would have only happened if our entire strategy shifted to betting, which has definitely not happened. But you can see that this card doesn't actually bet. However, he did bet big, right? But let's say you even checked. Now he bets. Now think about this. This is how again self-consistent poker is. If you bet, he doesn't have that many. So he only has like with the made hands or blockers to so like with queen 10, any blocker to kind of kings is obviously a decent hand to have here. King queen is kind of like locking, like soaking up the board. Like here even ace 5 of hearts is folding, ace 9 of hearts is beginning to fold a little bit. It's because you want to have hands that block the other person from having outs, or block outs for the other person to draw out to the nuts. And here king 10, just a call is fine because you're still ahead, right? You also still have all the queens, although like I said, like having these queen jacks and king jacks are pretty low. Anyways, say you can do anything. It's 4.9 4.6, ace 10. Okay, let's jam after that small bet. This is actually the line that it's not even the actual line, but say it's 50-50 on the turn. So let's say we use that line. Say I told you you're not folding an ace high, so it's not the fact that like you can't call his jam. It's just that when you bet bigger, when you bet 16, look at this, like he's giving you value with ace jack. He's supposed to, unless he is a losing player. He's giving you value with jack 10. So again, that's good for him because in fact, look at what you are calling with. If he jams, you're not making any money. It's 50-50. You fold half your combos, you call half your combos. It's a flip on the river for him, for a huge pot. Now, what happened was here. Okay, well, the way it went down was check, check, queen, the magical something that it gives you, and then you bet. I have 17. It's fine. And see, he's now supposed to just call. So you kind of like, again, if you bet small, he has some raises that you can call because you don't have to be afraid of like raising, right? You have a lot of outs. But he did call, and then there was a 2 of clubs or something, and now you can see that ace queen can do anything. Vikram Paji, amaze balls. In fact, you can bet small about 2% more than betting big. You will never know that. So since I also did not optimize the river sizings, because otherwise it would have been a pretty big sim. If I put in more, we would have actually, like the flop, we would have gotten a better, more optimal answer. And why? Why do we need that? Because we want to know where we can improve, where we are mucking up. We want to know that not only is it 9-10 suited that is jamming more than ace queen offsuit, jack 9 is too. So what is the lesson to be learned here? Even with trips, although ace queen offsuit is decent enough, and quads are somewhat like, it prefers you to have, because queen 10, again with queen 10, king 10, like is not betting that much because again, you can't have that much ace 10 then. But jack 9, for example, why? Because there's a jack up there, it blocks 9-10 essentially. That's why 8-7 is basically betting, and there's no flush draw, so you can see that the one that does not have the flush draw with the brick flush draw, you have to bet those. You have to bet some of these too, and not the ones that missed. Yeah, ace nine of diamonds, because diamonds is his weakest floating range. So in terms of suited cards, so you're not gonna be able to do this if you if you don't have some element of like big bets. Because think about this, the way that it went down. Once you bet big on the turn, and the river breaks, and you have trips, you block queen jack pretty hard, you block king queen pretty hard. Only coolers will call you, and I think it's going to be 50-50, or he's going to have 60% folds. So so you can do this. Oh my fucking god, give me a price. It's exactly what I said. Where's my book? Where's my book? Oh my god, I deleted. No, go rewind it. I said you'll have about 60% folds. Because these spots are so simple, man. I said so you'll have about 60% of your range folding after calculating the MDF of like it being like more than 1x PSB, less than 2x PSB, which brings it close to around 40% MDF for him, which means 60% of his range should fold. And it rings true to the dot. The goat. The goater man. If he has ace queen, he's supposed to call. He's supposed to fold though here now. He's indifferent almost to so you can see that like usually he will fold. It just so happened that you know got into a cooler. There's hands that he might fold that chop. There's king 10 he can give you value with, thinking that he blocks certain parts. Obviously queen jack is a cooler, queens is a cooler, so is king queen. So he's got coolers. He call you with ace king, imagine that. So that's the main thing, but it's still like kind of not that many combos, because you can see it's 10 and 16. Had you come here and bet 8 or checked, because your combo is supposed to you're here it's supposed to check bet, and he's supposed to raise but mainly just call, which he did. I mean, he did it with the big bet. I don't know what he does with a small bet, but I don't know. And then the deuce or whatever it was, and you could see that you bet 15. But I swear to God, if you don't bet call, I'll quit poker. And now, but look at this. Like, he might just call, or he might raise with ace queen, king queen. He can't have that much of. Again, same thing here is like he doesn't have that much. Doesn't have it that often. Yes, he's calling with these hands, like two pair, and trips. He's just calling down with. There's a bluff right here. There's a bluff right here. There's a bluff right here, and those are right bluffs. There again. If he bluffs and you have a hand to call with, it sucks for him, right? He might, with nothing coming in, he might just like make him. If you don't put your opponent to a mistake, he won't make one, is what Sharad should have said. But then he should have pointed out what kind of mistakes he will make. He should have told you, yeah, you bet this, he's sometimes going to call with top pair. You should always call with top pair. Look, it's like across, it's like 98%, because it blocks the nuts. Anything that blocks the nuts should be called down as a bluff catcher. And he has some raises there. He should have mentioned that, like, yo, yes, 10-9 is a raise, but there are enough raises in there. And like, yes, sure, you get called, but you also get like 23% of these tends to call. Jacks obviously beat you. Jack 10 suited does not, and it's supposed to, the Jack 10 of spades is supposed, which unblocks hearts, supposed to just give you max value. And if his range was wider, like, I don't think he's just calling with queen 10 either, with stuff breaking out. So that's the thing. Now he's got all sizes he can choose, depends on the player he's playing against. But let's say he even jams. Let's say he even jams with this thing, right? He's got ace 10, right? Mate, you ain't never folding. And the combo you have, never, ever, ever, ever. Because it has not only the hearts blocked, but they missed. So remember that. And you don't have it hard blocked, you only have it one combo, one card blocks it. You have trips. The trips are of a suit that he can't be floating too wide with. You're actually indifferent to calling or folding with like king jack. With king jack of spades, so anything that's not on the board, any suit, calling 100%. So bet and call a 2-bet. That's the standard play. If you want to adjust, given that the last comment that was made was the guy is too tight, then you adjust. But first you understand what is the possibility, what is in the realm of possibility, and you'll realize that the person just was wrong from the beginning. He out of 3 times has presented this spot to him, he'd be wrong two out of those 3 times. More than that, because it's 63.58. And I guess he doesn't think much of it, because just like a point in a gram, that's what he has. Point in a gram. Don't need to get out of your pram. Kill off Gilly. Hit him with a slam.